Charlie O'Hara back in the studio on this Wednesday, here to answer your legal questions. 436-1212 is the number to dial if you have one. Good morning, Charlie.
Good morning.
And we're going to talk about this new kind of debate over .08 versus .05 here in just a minute, but we do have a call on the line.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and get to that this morning. Hi there, what's your question?
2.5 years ago, I broke my wrist, and they sent me to a bone doctor to get a cast put on, and they put it on wrong. And I was wondering, is there any legal action? It's been 2.5 years, and it's just gotten worse and worse. And now they consider it disabled. I got a 5-pound restriction on it, and it's getting worse.
Well, to answer that question quickly, obviously if the hospital or the doctor makes a mistake and it results in you being disabled, of course you're going to have a lawsuit. If you wait too long, that may diminish the ability to have that lawsuit. And there's a lot of factors that go into that. So I just can't answer that question for sure. But what I would do is get a hold of an attorney. You need to talk to an attorney about that, because it may be until you recognize the disability that you won't be able to file. And I don't know how long ago that was, but you probably ought to talk to an attorney, because not being able to use your hand is a significant disability. And if someone messed up and caused that, well, obviously that's going to affect you for the rest of your life, so you probably are due some money.
Well, and it sounds to me like he needs to do it now.
I would do it quickly. He's waited way too long already.
Okay, thank you for calling, and good luck with that. You know, we were talking a minute ago about the whole .08, .05 debate. And, you know, what do you make of this when you hear about this kind of law that's being discussed?
Well, I mean, all of our laws continually that we pass here in our country need to be reasonable. I mean, we can prevent anything. As I was discussing with you earlier, my dad used to say, if you want to repeat people from committing crimes again, or repeat offenders, well, every time they commit a crime, kill them, and they'll never repeat it. So we wouldn't do that, because that's ridiculous.
Right.
And that limit at some stage becomes unworkable. I mean, if you can't, I saw some statistics yesterday that if a woman 140 pounds had one glass of wine, she very well may be over that limit. And that means you couldn't have a glass of wine with dinner and you couldn't drive home. And you've got to put into consideration, too, here in Wichita, we don't have public transportation that gets anybody anywhere. In Europe, you can take a train and get really anywhere you want to go. You don't even have to drive.
Well, and there's only a few cities here in the United States where they have a great, you know, transit system to where you don't have, you know, you can take a subway or something in New York.
Yes, and I'm not encouraging people to drive at all. Don't get, I mean, drive while they've been drinking. But, I mean, the limits have to be reasonable. Just because you have alcohol in your system doesn't mean it's going to cause the accident. It's got to be to a point that it impairs you.
Okay, so
and I think that makes sense to everybody.
We'll see. It seems like it's going to have a huge debate before a decision is made.
I would think so.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. Just want to get your opinion on that. We have time now for one more call this morning. Hi there, what's your question? Hi there, what's your question? Good morning.
Yeah.
Go ahead, what's your question?
Pardon me?
Well, go ahead, what's your question?
I had bladder cancer, and I went to one doctor, and he said he removed it all. And then for other reasons, I had to go. Now, he put me off, and I had to go to another doctor. And he did the scope, and said that doctor had missed part of the cancer. I had to go through it again. I was wondering if I had a lawsuit.
Well, whether you have a lawsuit or not, I mean, you can always sue someone for anything, basically. However, if a doctor really messes up, or a medical procedure is wrong and they shouldn't have done it, or they didn't do it right, you usually have a lawsuit. I mean, sometimes they can correct that so there aren't very many damages, but sometimes it's a significant thing. And it depends on each case by case. So in the circumstance you describe, I think you ought to go to an attorney, and the attorney will evaluate your case and tell you whether or not you have a good lawsuit. We have to realize that accidents happen. If you run a stop sign, there may be no one there, and there's no accident. If someone's there, there's an accident. It all depends on the circumstances.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. Appreciate your call. Good luck with that. If you didn't get on the line this week, Charlie will be back here next Wednesday. Have a good week.
Thanks.